Americans have a YOLO addiction / gambling addiction. When did we get to the point where people don't care about the future? It's YOLO, I'm a YOLO my life savings, and whatever happens, happens. Do you know what that tells me about you? Do you know what that really tells me about your life? Now, you don't have to listen to me. Hey, it is what it is. But we're going to get into it. I'm Larry of the No Regret Show, and I try to help people have a long-term, long-time mindset. As a culture of Americans, we respect the person that says, I YOLO'd my life savings for the Chiefs to 3-peat and they lost. I YOLO'd my money into Palantir stock. Or I took a loan out on my house, sold my car, and I YOLO'd it into cryptocurrency. Do you know what that tells me about a lot of these people? Now listen, it's your money. You can do what you want with it. I'm trying to talk to the 1% of people who actually want to live a great future life, because that's the goal, right? That's the goal, to live a long life, to be happy, to be able to travel, spend more time with your family, be able to give back to your kids, to be there to see your grandkids grow up, or your kids if you got them, to travel the world and on your deathbed say, you know what? Whatever happens, happens. I lived a great life. I have no regrets. That's why I named this channel No Regrets. But that's not what most people do. That's the definition of generational wealth. Generational wealth is not just about money. It's about doing the things you love to do, seeing the world, having experiences, taking those memories with you when it's time to leave this earth. Do you know what that tells me about people with a YOLO mindset? It tells me you got nothing to live for. It tells me your life is so trashy and such in shambles. You will take your life savings, your money, and you're willing to gamble it all for quick riches to go buy trinkets, clothes, cars, jewelry, stupid stuff that will go down in value that you can't take with you. You don't want to take memories with you. You don't want to take the smiles of your brothers, your sisters, your kids, your nieces, your nephews. You don't want to take that smile of possibly putting your brother through college because you have so much money because you invested. You don't want to take that smile and that thank you and that hug of, the thank you, Uncle Larry, for putting me through medical school. You don't want to take that with you. What you want to do is go YOLO and get yourself a watch so you can show people, look what I got. I struck it rich. But a lot of those people, what they don't show you, and this is what I had to learn when I was younger, a lot of these people still have a young mindset. They'll figure it out when they're 50 and 60 and they have nothing of value. This is what I had to figure out. None of that stuff means absolutely nothing. I had to figure out later on in life is going to be very grim and very, very bleak. It's going to be horrible for me if I keep living my life for the moment. Now, is tomorrow guaranteed? No, it's not. But what happens when tomorrow gets here? And 20 years ago, you were YOLO and everything. You were buying those clothes that are no longer in fashion. I see a lot of the ignorance, and I know the long-term effects of them. You're not going to see it now. You'll see it later on. I see gambling channels. I see YOLO stop channels. Every other commercial, whenever I'm watching TV, because I got the cheap plan on Netflix, is FanDuel, it's DraftKings, it's some other one, Bet Dog, or whatever the hell. And I'm just sitting there like, people are gambling their asses off. They probably gambling on the game. They gambling on stocks. They gambling on crypto. They gambling their whole future away because right now is not worth anything to them. Right now is so horrible, so miserable to them. Their life is so horrible. Their situation, their living conditions, where they're living is so horrible. They're willing to do anything. And a lot of these people, they won't even change their living situations. They'll be up 30 grand, 20 grand, 50 grand. Instead of moving into a better neighborhood, they'll go to the mall. Instead of paying off that car, they'll go buy a watch. Instead of tucking some money away for an emergency fund, they'll revamp their sneaker collection. Instead of putting some money away for a family member to go to college, they'll go put some rims on their car. People live in the moment, man. They gambling their asses off. And then when you come out and you say, listen, plan for the future, you don't know what you're talking about, old head. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate you calling me an old head, because you can't really take that as, that's not criticism for me. I made it through my 20s already. I made it through my 30s. I'm in my 40s. Will I make it to my 50? Only God knows. But I made it through those years. Will you make it through those years? Will you make it through your 20s and 30s? Will you? When you meet that woman you finally want to settle down with, because let's be honest, more men have gambling addictions than women. When you finally meet that woman and you're, the things is heating up and you want to take a vacation, will you have money to be able to go on a vacation with her? Will you have money to travel the world? Will you have money to get married? Will you have money to have children? Will you get money to buy a home? Will you have enough money? Will you have that YOLO money? Or will you not have it? You have to sell everything. Do you have a career? Are you planning for the future? Do you have medical insurance when you have a kid? See, people don't think about that. What happens when you have a kid? What happens when you break your leg? Nobody thinks about the what if. Great investors, great savers, people who plan for the future end up having better futures because we planned for it. You gotta hope for the best and plan for the worst. Remember something, a goal without a plan is just a wish. We gotta get to work. And you know what? And a lot of people, they won't like this because they're in that situation and they don't see any way out. So they'll get angry and say, but what about this? And what about stereotypical stuff like this? And what about systemic this? And what about you? I can't change your future. I can't change your present. I could just tell you and show you what I did. Now, hope you made it this far. Think about subscribing, joining the channel. Change your mindset, yo. Get out of that gambler's YOLO mindset. It's not going to end well for you. No regrets? Get it.